The Sea of Thieves Pirates Live Showcase has just finished, and I've condensed down everything you need to know into a 20-minute video, so I have half the time, because a lot of the stuff they did say were just interviews with the devs that aren't really needed. So this is essentially all the highlights of the Sea of Thieves Pirates Live Showcase. So I'm not going to waste any time talking about it, so let's just get straight into it.
So the idea is that Captain Jack Sparrow has stolen the greatest pirate treasure of all time, a golden key to other lands. It possesses true freedom. Jack has used this treasure to cross his precious horizon, and he's found the pirate world of Sea of Thieves. Following in his wake is Davy Jones, and Davy Jones has also discovered this pirate world, finding that the pirate's life is somewhat different here. He has no dominion over those waves, and he doesn't control the pirate's life and their ability to return back from the land of the dead. And this threatens the pirate's life in the Sea of Thieves. And as part of this story, you get to work with Captain Jack to save the pirate's life.
Well, I believe that now is the perfect time to use these cannons.
So a big part of the story of Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life is giving players the chance to see brand new locations for the very first time, exploring the supernatural realm of the Sea of the Damned and also the underwater world of the Sunken Kingdom. So part of these new adventures is encountering new creatures in the Sea of Thieves world. Creatures like sirens, they're all around you and engage you in new ways. Phantom pirates that have been abandoned in the Sea of the Damned. There's also ocean crawlers, crustacean-like creatures that work together as a crew. We're also introducing new mechanics, like the Trident of Dark Tides. You can wield it as part of those tall tales, but also use it to engage with content that's already there in Sea of Thieves, like taking it to a skeleton fort or engaging other ships with this new tool.
I don't suppose, by chance, there's a second one of those?
So each tall tale brings with it a set of rewards that are themed to that tale. There's also Pirates of the Caribbean themed content within our Pirate Emporium. So we love the idea of players being able to cosplay as Jack Sparrow, to cosplay as the crew of the Black Pearl, to have adventures and have the prison dock with the keys in his mouth as a pet that you can have in the world. And also being able to deck out your ship in new cosmetics that feel like they're inspired by the legend of those iconic ships from the Pirates of the Caribbean universe. You can have the ship set that feels like it's been inspired by the legends of those ships coming to the Sea of Thieves world. We're really looking forward to how players can role play using these new ways to express themselves. This idea that we could put this creative twist on these familiar locations that maybe you've seen on the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. The idea of representing this almost director's cut of the attraction experience. You feel like you're right there in that town or in that grotto. Even the audio really...
The first time Jack kind of interacts with the ferryman, who is a character from our world, like on the ferry of the damned, and they're kind of bantering back and forth, and Jack in the way that he is and his character and the humour, for me that moment I was like, wow.
That's Captain Jack Sparrow, mate. And I think you may be overreacting just a smidge. I know the true worth of what I possess, and I intend to keep it quite safe. Now, I can see you're very busy and very grumpy, so we'll just be on our way.
Pirates is.
The first moment you see kind of characters from our world, characters from their world talking, it's like a magic moment, and again, it just fits.
It's the challenge that you then put on yourself. Can we bring these really well-known characters into Sea of Thieves in a way that still feels natural, that still feels playful, and still gives players those kind of shared experience moments that we've always wanted them to feel?
He'll tell you when your resources are on low, and you can find him around the ship where you can go and take selfies with him.
Constantly like exciting point here, area of interest there, so that players feel like they're making progress.
So we use contrasting colour which goes against the palette of the rest of the environment just to highlight key areas of interest and gently guide players. We'll dress doorways, we'll use assets as leading lines just to again help guide the player's eyes to their objective.
And there's also kind of cheekier ways we can do it, whereby a player can drop down into an area that they then can't get out of to go back on themselves.
As with all of our Tall Tales, players have a quest book in their inventory when they start the Tall Tale, which will always give them guidance on where they should be going and what they should be doing.
So we have 5 quest books, and well, this is essentially one book where the castaway writes down the story.
And there are also checkpoints at various points along the Tall Tale. So if you do complete part of it and then for whatever reason you want to come back to it in a later session, there's a checkpoint to allow you to pick up your adventure just where you left off.
We've been able to do it in a really authentic way, paying homage to the Pirates of the Caribbean IP, what it feels like to be a Sea of Thieves player in the really physical, playful world that we've built, and also paying homage to the Disneyland ride and park in general, which have inspired a ton of the design team, I know, and probably much wider around Rare in terms of the level design and the way you move through an environment.
So the Tunnels of the Damned is this area that connects the Sea of Thieves main world to the Sea of Damned. So it gives you the ability to move from the main world to wherever you want to go.
Only that crew is inside that new world, which means that we have a lot more levers as creators to make sure that their experience is unharmed by other players, and all the kind of cinematic beats of when we want things to happen all work and play out exactly as we want them to.
And I absolutely love how the team brought them together because they are elegant. They're like these shadows in the dark that come to hunt you, but then when they get in your face, they're like super creepy.
One of the things we're really proud of with the siren statues is that when you destroy them, they do this incredible destruction effect. It's like nothing you've seen in Sea of Thieves before ever. So you get this huge sense of achievement when you're doing it.
It feels like the new worlds that we've put in, the Sunken Kingdom and the Sea of the Damned both, they are so cinematic. The way we approach this, we learned a lot from how movies like Pirates of the Caribbean do their framing and everything, that sort of grandiose feeling you get in the movies. We wanted to bring that to the game.
When we started developing the visual aspect of the world, we immediately started thinking of very small objects, even things like flora and the sky and the sea. What would this look like? I was quite taking a look at Spanish colonial architecture with very intricate arches. We had the terracotta tiles and brickwork and stonework, also plaster, lots of new materials that I got to explore.
We actually found creatively that we pushed our art style outside of our own boundaries, and it's really cool because going forward we found that there's things in the Sea of Thieves now that we wouldn't have envisioned before.
This world is mainly a limbo constitute of memories of pirates, of buildings, of their ships, of their adventures. It's a memory of what used to be, of what they used to be.
And the end result is this magical, beautiful world with like lots of coral and colors, but equally creepy, dangerous, and almost a bit dark.
Destroy that!
So when you dive down from your boat, you actually hear a rendition of Who Shall Not Be Returning, which is a song that Robin wrote in the Seabound Soul update. And it's meant to be that very alluring sound, a siren singing towards you, pulling you into the Sunken Kingdom.
With places like Pirate's Grotto and Sailor's Grave, we was staying sort of fairly faithful to Yo-Ho, Pirate's Life, the tune. When you sort of get out into Sailor's Grave, we wanted to sort of take something just sort of a bit more sort of laid back and a bit more ambient almost with it, but still sort of keep keying off that melody.
What we actually did do is obviously listen to the films, watch the films, and try and bring Sea of Thieves into that massive Hollywood score. Ocean Crawlers, we went for a more woodwind style, which pluckers around every now and then. Sirens, obviously, we went for vocals. And with the Phantoms, we actually went for a little bit more synthy, a little bit more ambient, and drones, which sits really nicely underneath everything else.
This is a nickel harper, which we use quite a lot in Sea of Thieves. You have these keys that you sort of go chromatically that you use to play the notes. Playing with a bow, you can
The
the character that you made that initially was just, you know, an asset name in an Excel sheet is now, when it is placed into the world and then you get the voiceover lines on it and the animation on it and the lighting is correct and the environment and music comes in and all those things, then it's very much a case of that the result is more than the sum of its parts.
The concept to then model the environments, the VFX, the animation.
And you're in the middle of a battle, you just look to the left and Jack Sparrow is standing next to you, firing at the same targets as you, the music's there, he's there, and it's like nothing I've ever played.
In this first tale of the Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life, you get thrust straight into the story, adventuring into the Sea of the Damned. This supernatural realm where pirate dreams and nightmares take on a physical reality. As part of adventuring in this tale, you'll see haunted grotto caves and the shipwrecked town of Sailor's Grave as you try and find Captain Jack Sparrow. Your story begins at the mysterious Castaway, this new character that's come to the Sea of Thieves world and has made camp at all the outposts. And she's the gateway to all of these stories. So the Sea of the Damned is a place where our players have been before in the guise of being aboard the Ferry of the Damned when they die before their return to the land of the living. But in this tale, they get to go into the haunted regions of the Sea of the Damned and explore new locations for themselves.
No fear have ye of evil curses, says you. Properly warned ye be, says I. Who knows when that evil curse will strike the greedy beholders of this bewitched treasure? Dead men tell no tale.
You'll explore through haunted grotto caves, hearing all these remnants of the past and these ghostly whispers, seeing all these dark deeds of pirates.
Sit closer together and keep your ruddy hands inboard. That be the best way to repel boarders. And mark well the words, mateys. Dead men tell no tales.
Until eventually you emerge into Sailor's Grave, this shipwrecked town where damned sailors await rescue from the ferryman. And this is a fully realised location full of these shipwrecked areas where there's a tavern, there's a gambling den, lots of lore reveals, lots of secrets to find. So even though players have got the freedom to continue that story on their quest to find Jack Sparrow, there's lots of things to explore within that location, lots of little moments to discover. If you follow the trail, there's also a reveal of a very special ship. There's an awesome Easter egg to find. I won't spoil it, but I think it will really delight our players. And on this epic journey through this new world, you'll find a way to reignite this huge stone lighthouse, finding a way to summon the Ferry of the Damned. And as part of that journey, you'll eventually find a way to reach Captain Jack Sparrow.
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Though, since you came here to rescue me, you probably knew that already. And you must have heard tell of my heroic journey to acquire this, the greatest pirate treasure of all.
So we really wanted to introduce a character in Sailor's Grave, the Cursed Captain. This is a character you carry in the palm of your hand as he's talking to you, and he gives you a tour of Sailor's Grave. He can help you find some of the secrets in the town, but he also helps you on your quest to reach Captain Jack Sparrow.
We've a long journey ahead, and I've yet to find me sea legs.
You can play shanties for him, you can leave him behind, you can dance in front of him, and he'll comment on all of your actions. So he's essentially this quintessential pirate captain with all the kind of one-liners and all the references to kind of pirate lore. He brings that to life in Sea of Thieves for the first time.
This takes me back. Cards, dice, pitch the pistol. I don't recommend playing that last one with your loved ones.
Big surprises early on in our story is the reveal that not only is Jack Sparrow in our world, but Davy Jones has followed him. You think you're there to release Jack Sparrow from being held captive from the Ferry of the Damned, but it's exactly what Davy Jones wants. So I won't spoil it too much, but Davy Jones shows up right at the start of our story, and you have this awesome cinematic moment with Jack as you defend the ferry.
So now we're going to take a look at the second tale in the 5 tales of a pirate's life. Players are diving deep into the Sunken Kingdom in search of Jack Sparrow's compass, which was still aboard the Black Pearl when it was attacked. The compass is the key to what players will need to save the Sea of Thieves. So players will be diving deeper than they've ever been able to dive before into the Sunken Kingdom, and this is the home and the stronghold of the Sirens. You'll see a Siren Shrine, which is a smaller building, but also the Siren Citadel, which is guarded and home to the stronghold of the Sirens. Players will also venture inside these Siren structures, which have been built from coral and also the ruins of pirate ships. Sirens do drag these ships into the Citadel using these chains and then break them apart and use them to reinforce their structures, and also as methods of traversal, which you'll see throughout the tale as well, for the ocean crawlers that are in service to them. So they really look and feel nothing like you've seen in Sea of Thieves before. Players will come across these siren statues that are harnessing the power of siren song, and by interacting with these statues and causing them to sing in different configurations, players can enact change using water in the environment. So for example, you may be able to play a rising note of song that causes a giant stone face to open and water to cascade out into the environment, raising you up and allowing you to swim to areas that you couldn't get to before. We created a sort of breadcrumb trail of debris that players can follow through the darkness and the gloom in order to get that perfect moment where you see the Black Pearl. But of course, even though you're seeing the Black Pearl, it's also a very melancholy moment because it's chained. You know, the ship of freedom and everything that that represents is chained at the bottom of the ocean floor, about to be dragged into this Siren Citadel. With Sirens, we knew we wanted to go really deep on making them feel really fluid, really intelligent, really majestic and beautiful creatures, but at the same time terrible and frightening. So one of the core things that we first set out to do in prototype was actually how they move. And we have a system behind the scenes that allows the Sirens to move in a really beautiful way through the 3D environment. There are 2 types of Sirens. The base Sirens, they will have a scratch attack where they can come towards you and attack you really ferociously. But at the same time, they can also back off. They will fire a note of song over to you. The Sirens and the Ocean Crawlers all have this mysterious gem in the center of their chest, and the Sirens are able to use the power of that to create a sphere around them. It will damage players, but will heal themselves and any other Sirens that are nearby at the same time. And then a step up, you also have Siren Leaders. So these are easily identifiable by the fact that they carry the Trident of Dark Tides, and they will fire this Trident at you, and they'll also still come in close and attack you, but they'll do so with the Trident. And again, they're able to heal themselves, but their gem is a little bit more powerful. With the Ocean Crawlers, they're a new land-based threat. You will find them throughout the tales, but you'll also find them whilst just adventuring on islands in Sea of Thieves. And there are 3 completely brand new, unique AI enemy types. So you have the Crab Ocean Crawler. So this is the really big ocean crawler that will come towards you and unleash a devastating claw pummel attack. You have the electric. This ocean crawler will fire electric-based attacks at you. It will dash around lightning fast. It can also, though, cast an electric shield around the other ocean crawlers, meaning that you need to back off, because if you get too close to an electric shielded ocean crawlers, when damage is dealt to them, the lightning will actually chain to you and anyone else nearby, and you'll take damage from that. And then we have the hermit, who uses spores. They're always kind of pouring out of its mouth, and if you get too close, it will breathe those spores on you and poison you. But it can also burrow into the ground, and these kind of cracks will appear in the ground. When they burst out, they'll do damage to you. They can also run and charge at you in a really ferocious attack as well. The Trident of Dark Tides is a brand new weapon that players will come across as part of their adventures in a pirate's life. You can also find it scattered throughout the world of the Sea of Thieves. One of the challenges to players when they're adventuring underwater is managing their air. And we wanted to deliver a way for players to understand that and be able to get their air back so that they can adventure for longer in a way that's really intuitive. So we have these plants underwater that are really strikingly obvious. They have bubbles emanating from them. All you need to do as a player is find one of these plants if you're running out of air, go near it, and it will completely refill you. Players will uncover the fate of the Black Pearl and its crew, and players will take part in an epic battle against a familiar Sea of Thieves enemy in ways never seen before.
But anyway, that is the Sea of Thieves Showcase a Pirate's Life. It looks stunning. I am lost for complete words. But it releases next week, and I'll be doing all the update videos, recording all the Tall Tales walkthroughs as soon as they come out. This is going to be so incredibly amazing. So apart from that, I'll see you later. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you did enjoy. As I say, I'll be doing all the new update stuff. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.